You said Avatar: The Last Airbender is overrated? What's wrong with you?
I mean, it's okay.
Okay, so welcome to a very special review. It's the second review, technically the fourth, but it's the second review where we're at a table, so that's how you know it's important. Welcome to a very special episode of Star Wars Fans Complain. Today we're talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi. Just wrapped up, it's over, it's done, unless there's a season 2, which there might be. I don't know. Anyways, so after 18 years of Ewan McGregor not playing Obi-Wan Kenobi, he's back and he's Kenobi again. And the show's done, and people were complaining about it. Some people loved it, some people hated it. It's all over the board. What'd you think, Dad, of Obi-Wan Kenobi?
I liked it.
Oh, you liked it? Why?
I thought it had a lot of heart. I liked the Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader fighting, and him being Anakin still a little bit in there. Some of the episodes a little slow, but overall it's pretty good. I liked it.
Yeah,
worth the watch.
Normally we'd give a spoiler warning, but I mean, you already know what's going to happen. You know Kenobi's going to make it, and you know Vader's going to make it. But anyways, so Star Wars and Disney Plus has been sort of up and down. We've had good stuff. We've had The Mandalorian, which is really good. We had the Clone Wars finale, which was, again, really good. But we also had some not so great stuff. We had the Bad Batch, which is more like the Dad Batch, really. And we also had the Book of Boba Fett, which the best parts of it were when it wasn't about Boba Fett and it was about other things. So going into this show, I was pretty excited, but I was a little worried. I was like, I don't know. I'm hoping that, that my biggest concern was like, why would Kenobi ever leave Tatooine? I mean, Luke's like the most important thing in his life at that point. Why would he ever leave? And I'm glad they actually came up with a reason that actually made sense for him to leave that planet. And thank God, because I'm tired of that planet. Because after watching 3 hours of Dune, I don't think I can handle any more sand planets and science fiction stories anymore. But anyways, so the show's wrapped up and we're going to talk about it. But overall, I really like the show. I don't really have that many big issues with it. I have some minor stuff, but overall, really liked it. Loved the ending. So we're going to get into it a little in depth. Alright, so episode 1. Kenobi's on this desert and he's sad. I thought that was going to be the show. I thought it was just going to be him crying in the desert for 6 episodes, but to go into detail, what did you think of like how it started out and all that?
I thought episode 1 was kind of slow. I mean, they had the Inquisitors. I guess that was kind of cool, but overall, it was kind of setting stuff up, so it was all right. Yeah,
I mean, people were a little mixed on it because they were like, it's not even focusing on Kenobi, it's focusing on Reva. Which I'll admit, I didn't really have that complaint, but I'll admit, I was like, with a show about Kenobi, this beloved character, this beloved performance, you want to start out this show with a Kenobi scene, and instead they start out with an Order 66 scene that's about Reva. And even before they reveal, like, oh, that girl was Reva, it's like, obviously, that was kind of obvious. But I liked episode 1. I thought it was good. I was like, oh, neat. And then Leia showed up, which I didn't expect. What did you think of Leia? Princess Leia. Organa, the character in this show.
I thought the actors did a good job. I thought it was pretty good. I think they nailed her character.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised by the little girl. I don't know that actress's name, but she did a great job. Like, I was like, wow, this is a really good actress. She's gonna go far. And she even looked like Carrie Fisher. Like, it was pretty crazy, actually. I thought she was great. And I liked how this show actually was about. You'd expect it to be about Kenobi and Luke, but it's actually about Kenobi and Leia, and that's cool because it's like, yeah, he didn't just care about Luke; he cared about Leia too. They were both Skywalkers; they were brother and sister, and it was, he cared about them. I like that. Episode 2, which was like on a Blade Runner planet, Grand Inquisitor died, and then everyone was like, "What? I thought this was before Rebels," and he's in Rebels. But this doesn't have anything to do with the show, but I kind of hate Rebels. I hate that show. I really hate it. I don't like it. I like that one episode where Ahsoka and Vader fight. That was cool. And I like that episode where Maul finds those witches and does weird magic stuff. I like that. But the rest of the show was pretty bad. But this isn't a review of Rebels. This is a review of Kenobi. But, anyways, yeah, that episode 2, what did you think?
Oh, all right.
Yeah, so I'm just kidding. Alright, so my least favorite episode, we're jumping around a bit, but episode 3 is pretty good. Vader, he really tore into that town, tore into that village. That was pretty messed up.
That was pretty awesome, actually, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time where I've always looked at Vader as this really great villain, as this really great character, and I'm like, man, Vader's such a badass. He's so cool. But this probably shouldn't have been the first time, but this is the first time I ever looked at Vader and was like, wow, what a horrible person, man. This guy's gotta go. You know, I completely forgot that Return of the Jedi is a movie that exists because I was like, man, somebody needs to take this dude down. But anyways, my least favorite episode of the season wasn't a terrible episode, but it was pretty weak. Was episode 4. It was a rescue mission. Didn't really add a lot to the story. Didn't really add a lot to the plot. It just felt like a rescue mission, you know. And it was. I mean, a lot of people were making fun of that scene where Kenobi has Leia like in his coat and he's hiding her. But I was just like, I mean, what else do you do in that situation? Like, I don't know. And it doesn't even work. He gets caught like in that scene. But I don't know. But then episode 5 and 6. Episode 5 is like, it's like a raid and infiltration. Yeah, I mean, really the whole show is pretty good, but the best episode of the show is by far episode 6, which we'll get to. But episode 5 was good too. You know, it tied in Reva to Order 66 and the Padawans dying. Gotta admit, between this and the new season of Stranger Things, there's been a lot of dead kids in shows that we're watching, which is a little uncomfortable to watch in today's climate, but you know, anyways. But yeah, let's get to the finale, which we just watched. Dad, what did you think of the finale?
I liked it. I liked the tone of the lightsaber battle. I felt that instead of going like spectacular like they did in Revenge of the Sith, they went with more of a sad, like two friends fighting who, you know, have to try to kill each other, really don't want to. I mean,
Vader wants to.
Vader wants to. I mean, it's just sad. And then Obi-Wan just kind of leaves them. You know, it's just, I liked it. I thought it would have a lot of heart.
Yeah, it was a very good fight. I was glad the episode, I mean, it kind of was, but I was like, I hope it's not just 50 minutes of them fighting, because that would get a little tiresome after a while. I like the fight between them on Revenge of the Sith, but it does go on a little long, and it gets a little silly at points. But this fight, I was cool with. I love that part. I love when Vader goes from, like, one arm to, like, he goes from 2 arms. He's like, oh, it's getting real. Because Vader thinks that Kenobi is just a broken down old man, which he is, but really the show was about Kenobi getting his groove back. In the beginning of the show, he's broken, he's sad. It's like Joker, but a Jedi version. He's all like, oh, I'm sad. Oh, and this is why I work at a sushi place. And, you know, he's depressed, but as the show goes on, he gets his groove back. I love how the first time he uses the Force, the first time he gets back into it, is to save Leia, one of the Skywalkers. Really, I would consider Kenobi basically like a part of the Skywalker family. He's basically like their uncle. You know, and yeah, I mean, episode 6, the fight between Kenobi and Vader is really emotional. I love fight scenes that are emotional. Like a good example is like Iron Man and Cap in Civil War. Yeah, you know, there's a lot of emotion behind that fight. Or in Star Wars, like, you know, there's Luke and Vader at the end of Return of the Jedi. If I'm looking for like a flashy Star Wars fight, you know, there's better ones out there like Maul and Ahsoka, or Palpatine and Maul and Savage. But in terms of plot and character, I think this is one of the best fights we've gotten in Star Wars recently, anyways. Yeah, go into it more, Dad. What'd you think of the finale and everything?
Yeah, I thought it was good. You know, Reva chasing down Luke and then not killing him. I really didn't understand why she was chasing him down in the first place, but you know, she wasn't gonna kill him, so that was okay.
I don't understand why Vader left her alive.
I think because he really didn't care.
Yeah, I guess
he's like zero threat to her, so he was like, whatever, he'll just leave her. I think similar to when Kenobi left Vader to, you know, instead of killing him, he just was like, this is just too much. He's just like, I'm out of here, he took off.
Yeah.
So I thought it was good. I thought it was a good ending. I hope there's a season 2 to explore more of Kenobi now that he's kind of back to being Kenobi, even though he's older.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kenobi, he's... Yeah, that fight scene, we already said it, but it's super well done. It's super well acted. And, you know, when Kenobi sees Vader, he just sees Anakin. You know, it's actually kind of interesting, because when he sees the machine, he sees Anakin. But when he actually sees Anakin, when he destroys the helmet, he's like, oh, that's not him. You know, and Anakin's like, you didn't kill Vader. Or you didn't kill Anakin. I did. And Kenobi's like, you sick bastard. And he just leaves. You know, he saw Vader as just just this pathetic guy, and I like that he calls him Darth. You know, it's a nice callback to New Hope. This movie actually makes a New Hope a lot better. A lot of people were saying like, "Oh, this creates plot holes." No, it doesn't. They literally explain why. Like in that message Leia sends Kenobi, you really think it would make sense to be like, "Hey, remember that time you saved me?" You know, like you don't need her to say that. When you meet someone after a while, you don't be like, "Remember the time we went to the Arby's together?" You know, you don't say that stuff. And Kenobi literally says like, "Hey, maybe we should keep this on the down low that we were, you know, that I saved you," which is why if that message ever got intercepted, you know. But whatever. Star Wars fans will always find something to complain about, you know. And there was some stuff to complain about with this show for sure, but I think everybody's pretty universally like pretty happy with this finale from what I've seen. Like first 5 episodes people were pretty like up and down with, but with this finale I see a lot of people really liking it.
Yeah, I liked it. I think that it's hard not to like it. You know, anytime you have Obi-Wan and Anakin fighting each other, it's going to be good.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a great scene. Definitely gonna watch it again. I would watch the whole show again. Why not? But yeah, the fight was great. It was everything you wanted it to be. Also, we forgot to mention the first fight, which was pretty hilarious because Vader shows up. Kenobi's like, "Screw this!" He just takes off, and yeah, I mean Vader, he puts him up and he pulls him down. He's dragging him through the fire, and you're like, Jesus. Well, you know Vader. In the 10 years it's been since Revenge of the Sith, you know he's been waiting for that moment. And I love that scene at the beginning of episode 6 where they're Kenobi takes off from the ship with all the insurgents, and then Grand Inquisitor's like, what are you doing? Like, we gotta go follow those insurgents. And Vader's like, you think I care? I can care less about those insurgents. I want Kenobi. I want that dude. And yeah, the fight's great. Yeah, love it. And then you know, him and Leia have a nice little scene. And he tells her, like, "Yeah, I knew your parents. Your mom was hot, and your dad was hot, literally." You know. But yeah, you know, it was a good ending. It was a good scene. And also, I liked Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru in the show.
Yeah, they were good. A lot more character development.
Yeah, it really makes their death of New Hope a lot sadder. And you know they didn't go out without a fight, which makes it sadder. Actually, Star Wars is pretty sad when you think about it. But yeah, I mean. And then at the end, Qui-Gon shows up, which
that was neat.
We all kind of expected, but it was still neat. And Palpatine shows up, and he's like, "Damn, Vader, you look pissed." And Vader's like, "God, I hate Kenobi. I'm gonna go fight him." And Palpatine's like, "No, the hell you're not. You're gonna focus on your mission," which probably pissed him off even more. So, yeah, what do you think about the reception this show's been getting? Because people are kind of mixed on it. People are like. I mean, there is certainly the show's not perfect, you know. But what do you think about like the reception of this show?
I don't know. I'm kind of surprised. I thought people would like it more than they do. I'm kind of surprised actually, because I mean, Kenobi. You know, you want them to put more Star Wars content out, and then when you know, if it's not good, it's not good. But this show's pretty good, so I kind of wish people would be a little more. I don't know what the word for it is. Generous, I guess, in their praise for it. And because there's a good chance they might not make more if people don't like it, or say a lot of bad things about it. So hopefully there's season 2.
Yeah, I think people really love Kenobi. Kenobi is, I don't know if he's my favorite Star Wars character, but he's definitely up there. But I think Kenobi is a favorite. He's a fan favorite for sure, and a lot of people really love that character. And Kenobi's like, there's so many different things he's been in. He was important in the original trilogy, the prequels, the Clone Wars. He was even in 2 Minutes of Rebels. He's a very important character to Star Wars, and people love him. So I think with a show that's about him, I think people really wanted it to be a 10 out of 10 masterpiece that they love, and everything perfect. And when it's not that, people say that it sucks, even though it doesn't suck. I don't think so, anyways. But I think people were really hyping this show up like it's going to be amazing. It's going to be a 10 out of 10 masterpiece. And I think when it's anything less than that, people are disappointed. And I think that, sometimes when you hype something up too much for you, it can lead to a little disappointment. For me, I didn't really know what to expect with this show. I was like, it could go either way. And maybe that's why I enjoyed it as much as I did. I really liked this show. I thought it was really well done. I thought it was listen, I don't hate Luke's arc in Last Jedi. I don't. I think there was some interesting stuff about it. Could have been done better. He feels differently. But, I didn't hate it, but I thought Kenobi's arc in the show, which was similar to Luke's arc in Last Jedi, was done better than Luke's arc. And maybe that's because you know the outcome. You know, it's a prequel. But I don't know. I really liked this show. I had a lot of fun with it. I really enjoyed it. I thought it could it have focused more on Kenobi? You know, it did focus. It did feel a little all over the place at times. Like it felt like Reva got a lot more screen time than Kenobi sometimes. But we didn't even talk about Reva, huh? Jesus. But yeah, I still like this show a lot. But on to Reva. Really liked her character. Didn't love her, but I thought she was interesting. I'm sure they'll do more with her. But I agree with you. Her chasing Luke down felt a little forced. Felt a little like, okay, I think we just need some other conflicts, you know. But what are you gonna do? I think this show. I don't know if there'll be a season 2. If there's not, I'm okay. I think the show works as a one season thing. But if they want to make more seasons, let them go ahead. If they're good, you know, let them go ahead. But I don't know how you top that fight with Vader. That's the only thing. Is like how do you beat that?
I think an Obi-Wan Kenobi and Ahsoka Tano reunion would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
In live action.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I will say I thought this show was gonna tie in a little more to Clone Wars, and it didn't really. It had some stuff like Inquisitors. I mean, that's more of a Rebels thing, but still it had stuff like that. They never mentioned Satine once. They never mentioned Ahsoka or any of that stuff. I mean, Bail Organa, I guess, but that was I would have liked a little bit more of Clone Wars Kenobi in the show, but that's a nitpick, you know what I mean? And you know, Kenobi says hello there at the end. You know, that's nice of him. That was a nice little scene.
I think they'll go deeper in season 2. I think they just want to kind of test things out. So I think season 2 you'll have more ties to Clone Wars and more ties to New Hope.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you look at the first season of Mandalorian; it was pretty self-contained for the most part. And then season 2, it's like here's the cast of Clone Wars. They're here now. You know what I mean? So they might do something similar.
Yeah, I think they'll tie in Rebels too a little bit. They'll do some more tie-ins. I think it just need some more time to write some more stuff. But I'm pretty sure there'll be a season 2.
I'm sure there will be too. Yeah, we already mentioned this earlier, but I loved Leia. I thought she was great. I loved how annoying they made her. People were complaining. They're like, they made Leia unlikable. I'm like, my brother in Christ, did you see the original trilogy? Like, come on. That is her character. Like, you really think she's going to grow from, like, a mature little girl to, like, the Leia we see in New Hope? No. Loved her. Thought the actress did a great job. You know, loved the connection between her and Kenobi. Gotta say, didn't really care for any of the new side characters, besides Reva, I guess. Kumail Nanjiani, didn't really care for his character. I felt like he didn't even really need to be there. That one girl that blew herself up, didn't need to be there. You know, that one guy, forgot his name. You know what guy I'm talking about. The guy that, like, he didn't even have any character. That was kind of lame, but, you know, I think the show got its legacy characters right. But, I think the next Star Wars show is Andor, which, I mean, I guess, whatever. I'd rather they make shows about, like, characters that I would care about. I don't really care about Cassian that much, but after that is Ahsoka, which, I mean, I hope it's good. I hope it's not Rebels season 5. That'd be
kind of has to be, I think.
Yeah. That show they got to search for Ezra and Thrawn. Really don't like Ezra.
Thrawn's good though.
Thrawn's cool. So I don't know. Star Wars these days. The Disney Plus Star Wars shows. I think they could be longer. They don't need to be 6 episodes. This show could have been like 8 episodes, I think, and it would have been better. But I love how they really tie into the lore a lot more than the Marvel shows do. You know, the Marvel shows, like I love Doctor Strange too. I love that movie, but you know, it didn't really feel like WandaVision was super important to it. Like, I'm like, you probably could have watched this and it would be fine. But if you did watch WandaVision, it made that movie better. But here, I feel like it makes a lot of other Star Wars content out there better.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, in the end, I really liked the show. Really, really liked it. Loved the final episode. You know, I had my issues with the show, but overall, that was pretty good. I'm happy with what we got. You know, I don't think it's perfect. I don't even think it's the best. I think I still like Mandalorian as a show more than this. But I still, you know, was very happy with this show. final thoughts, Pops?
It was different from Mandalorian. I liked them both. I like Mandalorian. Spoiler here, but like when Luke showed up, that was a big surprise.
Yeah.
But I think they handled the ending of Kenobi really well, where they have Kenobi and Vader fight, and then before that fight happens, you're wondering how does one of them make it out alive. But then the way they did it, it was nice because you could see that Kenobi just felt so bad that he couldn't actually, just like in Revenge of the Sith, he couldn't kill him, so he just left.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that was Kenobi. That was Obi-Wan Kenobi. We both really liked it, you know. And thanks for watching. Appreciate it. I want to know what you thought of the show. If you loved it, if you hated it. We're gonna make some more reviews. Me and Pops at this table with this Gatorade. Miss Marvel, which so far is pretty good, right?
It's all right.
The season of The Boys, which is
That's pretty good.
really good. Stranger Things, when that wraps up, we'll be here to talk about that.
Actually, that season's probably the best seasons.
Yeah, Stranger Things is really good this season.
Mm-hmm.
There's also Umbrella Academy, which came back. That's how he feels about Umbrella Academy. Doesn't like it. Makes him sick. Anyways, yeah, we'll be back for some more reviews in the future. Jeez, man, you alright?
I'm okay.
Alright, see you later.